had to deal with today. And it started off this morning. We discovered Nova, a clouded leopard, was not in its habitat. We found a suspicious opening in the habitat wall at the front of the exhibit. Following our protocol, every morning we come in and check, do a head count, check the exhibits. The clouded leopard was not in the exhibit, and we found this breach in the exhibit. It was clear that this opening was not a habitat failure, it was an exhibit failure, and it wasn't keeper error. We are fully cooperating with the DPD and their active investigation of this. They came and helped us, assisted with this as soon as we called the code blue, which is a non-threatening animal out of its exhibit. And they've been helping us with the search all day. I'd like to thank them for their assistance with a lot of the technology that we've used today to search the zoo grounds for the clouded leopard. We also checked all the other habitats, and they are secure. We suspect the animal is still on property or nearby, so the search is still continuing. These are very elusive animals. They live in dense forests up in the trees, so it's a very difficult animal to try and find. And as I said, we're grateful for the advanced technology that DPD has let us use. We're continuing to follow on credible tips. We're getting a lot of them as the information has been spread out. You guys have helped us get the information out. We've been active on our social media channels, giving everybody an update. We've also contacted some of the neighborhood associations. And if they think they see Nova, don't approach it, take a picture, take that photo, direct message us on our social media channels or call us at 469-554-7510. As far as the operations of the zoo, we are planning to open the Wilds of Africa tomorrow with the zoo on a normal Saturday. We are not going to open the zoo north because we're going to continue to be looking. If status quo is what we have today, we will be continuing to look for the clouded leopard tomorrow. For a little more detail about the animal, I'm going to call Harrison Adele up and have him talk a little bit more detail.
As Greg mentioned, my name is Harrison Adele. I'm the zoo's Executive Vice President, Animal Care and Conservation. As we shared with folks earlier today, a clouded leopard is a small cat. She's only about 25 pounds. Nova's larger than a house cat, but smaller than most bobcats. And as Greg mentioned, they are elusive cats. Her native habitat in the wild would be dense tropical forest, and she's designed for life up high in the trees. So it's a really good likelihood that if she were out and it is still on grounds, she's likely hiding out somewhere up high in a treetop. So we'll continue to survey the zoo and try our best to find her to bring her home safely. There are a lot of additional details I'm sure you have questions about, and at that point I am going to hand this off to Sergeant Warren Mitchell with Dallas PD.
Good afternoon, Sergeant Warren Mitchell, W-A-R-R-E-N M-I-T-C-H-E-L-L, Public Information Officer with Dallas Police Department. When we initially responded to the location of a report of a missing clouded leopard, we first dispatched our SWAT officers out here, not clearly understanding what a clouded leopard was. You know, we were thinking perhaps a big cat. So they started the initial search. But when we got an understanding what type of animal we were dealing with, we released our SWAT officers, and then we added patrol resources out here. We also dispatched our drone unit, and they have been out here ever since. They have checked all the areas, and so far we have been unsuccessful. Investigators had come out, and when they looked at the area where the leopard was, the clouded leopard, it was their belief, and it is our belief, that this was an intentional act. And so we have started a criminal investigation. And that's an ongoing investigation, so I cannot go further into it other than that.
So, Sergeant, you saying somebody on the ground possibly could have took the cat?
Well, all that's a part of our investigation. So we don't know how it came up missing, but we do know that the fence that it escaped from was intentionally cut. And that's about as far as I can go right now. No, well, we did dispatch our crime scene evidence team out here, and so they collected some evidence. So at this time, I do not know, but it did look intentional.
Suspect or anyone that is in the area, within that area?
We have reviewed some surveillance videos, but not enough for me to be able to give you information to what we have seen. Not at this time, but we do encourage anyone who might have seen anything to definitely call 911. Well, if you intentionally cut it, I don't know. It's not there. So when zoo personnel came in this morning and saw that the leopard was missing, and we came out and saw that it was an intentional act, one can assume, but we don't like to assume during a criminal investigation. So we're just going to conduct our investigation, see what comes up.
It's evident that it was not the animal's doing, is that right?
That is correct.
What is the going rate for a clouded leopard?
I do. This is not my area of expertise, so I do not have that answer.
Is this like trying to find a needle in a haystack?
Well, I mean, we have sophisticated technology with our drones to where we were able to calibrate the heat signature of that particular cat. So we've been searching all over. So we have technology, but just right now we're unsuccessful. We're hoping it's still here somewhere, but right now it's still missing. Well, as concern meaning what? Well, I mean, the technology works the same at nighttime as it do during the daytime, but yeah, daylight does help a lot better. But as far as the behavior of the animal, that's something that zoo personnel will have to answer that.
Do you expect to scale back the resources though as we go on with the evening?
Absolutely, we have scaled back some. We've left a few resources out here. The drone unit continues to be out here. And so until we exhaust every avenue of this or every area, then we'll continue to be out here to assist the zoo personnel with whatever we can.
So the search is still on?
Yes, the search is still on.
How dangerous is the animal to the public and to other small animals?
I would rather zoo personnel answer that question. Yeah.
Sergeant, before you switch, could you go over any consequences that could be applied legally to anybody who with intent maliciously did this and took it out, and to anyone who could house
Well, I don't want to speculate on something we don't know just yet. But, just like any crime, I mean, if you go out and you commit it and it's intentional and it does not belong to you, then there are consequences, and there are repercussions. So we'll just kind of leave it at that.
for the citizen who sees it, maybe puts a can of whiskas out there and tries to lure it?
Well, I mean, it could be if the animal attack them, those kind of consequences. But I don't want to speculate because, again, if anyone sees it, then they're asked to call 911. And so, anyone who does that, it's not likely, if they have no involvement with the crime at all, that they would be in any kind of trouble. So we don't want to put that kind of fear. If you see it, then you might be. We want to make sure that if anybody sees it, that they contact their police department.
So let me just say something first, Jobin. Thank you, Sergeant Mitchell. And, we're obviously cooperating fully with the Dallas Police on this investigation. We're letting them run the lead on that. And so as there's not a lot we can comment as far as the investigation. Our main focus is really going to be about trying to find this animal. It's an important animal to us and to our staff and to the overall AZA population of animals. And there are some behavioral things that this animal will likely do that will help us kind of focus on where right here at the zoo. We're hoping that it's still here on grounds. Harrison, you want to come up and talk a little bit about that? And yeah.
If it's not here, should people worry? I mean, what does it eat? Is it nocturnal? Anything like that? Can you tell us?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll address the question earlier too. What do I do if I see it in my neighborhood? The challenge for you is to gather a photo and share the photo with us, but do not approach the cat. This is not a house cat. They're not domestic, even though they grew up in a zoo setting. But at the same time, it's still a wild animal. And without knowing that animal really well and having a relationship, we don't want people to interact with her. But we do absolutely want a photo sent to us so that we can help to figure out how to get her home safely if she turns up in a neighborhood and not here at the zoo. I hope that kind of answers your questions.
People worried about their pets?
So we have a lot of native predators in Texas, including coyotes and bobcats and great horned owls. So if you are concerned about coyotes in your backyard enough that you want to bring your chihuahua or chickens inside, you should continue to do that. But I would not say that I'm any more concerned about a clouded leopard than I would be about a coyote in my backyard.
Okay, so that is zoo officials right there, and also Dallas PD giving an update about the missing clouded leopard that disappeared from the zoo earlier today, named Nova. The biggest parts about that press conference that we were listening to is that DPD said a criminal investigation has been launched, that Nova is still missing. There was a cut found in the mesh fence of Nova's enclosure, and DPD says that it looks like it was cut intentionally, so that is why they have launched a criminal investigation. But zoo officials are still hoping that the cat is on the grounds, yet they are asking people to stay vigilant in the area and to call them if they do see the cat, and to call 911 immediately, and to also take a photo too. The zoo was closed today. It's going to be reopened tomorrow, partly as the search continues. We're going to take a quick break. If you want to watch that press conference, you can go to WFAA.com, but we'll have much more on the other side of this short break.